Hey guys, I wanted to talk about like I guess maybe you can call it being wise enough to play the fool or pretending you have some sort of disability. Main not as like this isn't like wounded bird game, like Hill by Dashboard like push. Like I'm talking about this just in a general social sense of what I found works for me is say I got some social event, whatever, and inevitably some sort of like uh, disagreement or um, conflict happens, and where somebody just gets like a little pissy at me because the reality is when you're like such a eugenic Aryan specimen as it just causes these people to lash out at you in spite. They're like an animal. Like I cause them like literal like mental and physical pain just from my presence. It makes them so envious and spiteful. I'll let y'all figure out if that was like me making being hyperbolic or not. But like you stare at somebody too long or you say something that they disagree with. And normies, they can't really like disagree in like a normal civil way. They always get like that slight tone of aggression in their voice. Be like, "What do you mean that?" Blah blah blah, or "Hey man, it's like gay or something. I don't know. I just don't like it." Or say you just have a discussion with them, and they can't conceive of like the concept that you can entertain an idea but not accept it. You know, it's like I could talk about like communism, for example, if somebody and like try to be the devil's advocate for it. That doesn't mean I am one, but they can't understand that. It's like if I talk about like Islam, for example, it doesn't mean I'm a Muslim, but they can't figure that. They assume you are what you speak. Or one thing people they'll get upset at me for is like I just won't eat. Like we'll go to social gatherings and like there'll be like food there, and say it's like a Thanksgiving, for example, and I just will not eat the food. Like I just sit there. I'm like, I got me a glass of water. That's all I need as a white man. That's all you really need is maybe a glass of water here and there. Who eats food? Like if you eat food, you're just a subhuman at this point, to be honest. But inevitably they get like pissy at me or try to like confront me on something. And my usual tactic, and this does work on people that you actually like know or have interacted with before, is just pretend to be mute. Like I don't know sign language, but I've seen enough like sign language interpreters that I could sort of mimic it. If you don't, if you know sign language, I'm just BSing you. But I tend to just do that. Maybe throw like a couple gang signs here and there or something. Throw up blood or whatever. I guess if you're like, I guess if you're like trying to, I don't know if I can say the word we usually use for Wakandans that starts with a W on here, but you know what I mean. A white homie. You probably like do some of those there, throw some of that in there if you wanted. But I usually do that. I just pretend to be mute and try to just do sign language. And of course, I haven't run up on anybody that knows sign language yet, so it's been an effective strategy for me as a way to like easily de-escalate. In which even then, or I just stand there and just stare at them, and they'll try to escalate, but it just gets to a point where uh, they're not like Wakandans where they'll just immediately go to the state of violence. Like you usually need to like you slightly escalate, then they slightly escalate. I just don't speak a word to them because at the end of the day, like if they like if they disagree with you, uh, that's kind of ultimately what they want to do is they want to exile you from the group. So you just have to do that. Just like pretend to be mute. Or you can like do something like flat Earth, for example, is something that like a majority of the populace considers you stupid if you believe in. So whether you believe in it or not, you can just throw that out. So that way, like discredits you in the social situation, but also people will underestimate you socially. Like you can use it to your Machiavellian advantage to just act like some uh, oblivious, incompetent person. But I usually just go the mute route. It's just a waste of breath because like you're not gonna get anywhere with them. They only really understand like, oh, this is the opinion of the people who have a monopoly on force in my area, or this is the person with the most social status. I agree with everything they say wholeheartedly, you know? Or, oh, this is what the collective Freud hive mind believes in the immediate vicinity of me. Let me agree with them. You know, that's the other one. It's like just mostly whatever the Freud think is. But even like if you're like around a bunch of guys and there's no women around, they'll still be like that. They disagree with you and they just want to like immediately be confrontational. Now sometimes it's just probably just if you do the mute thing to somebody who already knows you, has like heard you speak before, it has like this extra effect of gaslighting, and it makes them like leave you alone much more quickly than a stranger who hasn't spoken to you before. Or the other route, like I think I said this on Thomas White's last stream. You could just like extremist max or like low and hip max. Now, of course, you can't do it in the way that the Wakandans do as a European male, but you could do stuff maybe like say certain words that I can't say here on YouTube towards them, like call them something that's really tied to a different ethnic group of people. But yeah, the whole thing that kind of spurred this video was just my dad got upset at me today for not eating. So I just immediately just like said nothing. I just stand there. I just stay dead silent. Because at the end of the day, if you're a chud, you know, all the chuddies watching this, no matter what you speak, like you can talk about like how women are like you can sit there and agree with them or like agree and amplify, be like, yeah, women are like the greatest, most perfect, pure moral beings. I love Israel. The Jew civilization wouldn't be here without the great accomplishments and contributions that Jews have given our society. Blah blah blah. You know, you could go. You could just be like extreme. Like you could get goy beamed. You know, just like pretend you're goy beamed, more goy beamed than them, and even then, like they know they can like sense that you're just a chud subconsciously. It seems like they realize you have a higher order spirit, like you actually are Aryan. Now it doesn't apply to all the non non European descent subs that watch me, but all y'all that watch me, y'all are all right, I guess. Y'all are cool. Anyways, guys, yeah, I think that's all I really had to say. I hope y'all are doing well. I'll see y'all.